What's up guys, this is Tech, and today I'll be doing a long-term review of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. The S26 Ultra is coming around right on the corner, and I might as well give a little review on this, especially because the S26 is going to be very similar to this phone. So let's get started with this video talking about the screen. It has a 1440p screen. They've been having 1440p screens for a long time. Even this older Note 8 that I have had it too. And it has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty good for phones sold inside the US. So like, remember their older Notes, like this one had around a 3,500 milliamp hour battery. So those extra milliamps do help. You can get around a day and a half with this phone, though you're probably ending the day with around 20%. The screen's also 6.9 inches, and that is very big. If you are sensitive to having big phones, I would recommend getting the regular S25, though you may miss out on some of the extra camera features, because this one does boast a 200 megapixel main, a 50 megapixel ultra-wide, a 50 megapixel 5x, as well as a 10 megapixel 3x. But just for size comparison, this is an iPhone 7 next to this phone, because this phone wasn't even that old. So just for reference, how much bigger this phone will be in your pocket if you know the size of this phone. Also, we can bring another phone in the mix, comparing it with a Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So as you could see, just a boxier version almost of their old Samsung Galaxy Note with this one. Now, this screen has a couple of special qualities that will be helpful, and there's actually the one big difference for this and the S26 Ultra from what I've heard from rumors. So this phone has a anti-reflective coating on it, so when there is like direct sunlight, if I were to open up a blind, you should be able to still see the screen. Now it's still like visible, though I feel like it still gets affected by reflections. I mean, you could literally see my face in there, but apparently it's less reflective than if you have an iPhone. So I would take that into account. It's supposed to be 33% less reflectivity when there is those type of reflections. But on the new S26 that's coming out, it's going to have a privacy screen. So apparently you could turn on and off this mode that turns off like the off-axis viewing. So if you turn your phone to the side like this, it should be completely black. So it helps with privacy and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if the feature actually will come out. It's just a rumor I heard. But that is like the actual only difference between this and what is supposedly going to come out with the new S26 Ultra. Other features I do want to talk about is that it does have a 1 Hz to 120 Hz panel. So if I were turning the phone off, it still shows the screen, as you can see, and that's not using much battery at all, probably like 1% an hour. And it allows the phone to have this nice always on display. So if you were turning it off in the past to save battery, this one has it as a plus. Also, another thing about the specifications is that this phone comes out of the box set to 1080p. So if you do want that full, I think it's 2.5K resolution, then you do have to manually go into the settings and change it to 1440p. And as I mentioned with these cameras, I'm gonna take a picture with them. So as you can see, they protrude out this phone. It makes this phone wobble on a table. So you do need a case, but I have this little plush. So let's take a photo of it right now and see how well it fares. This is good lighting conditions because I do have a spotlight right on top of the camera, so we can see how well it did. So looking at this photo, this is shot on the 200 megapixel camera, though the image does get binned down by I think 24 to 12 megapixels, so it won't take too much space. But as you can see, you can really tell it does take a lot of detail. This is the top of this plush. And as you can see, it's very crisp image. I mean, I didn't do any extra photo settings. That's just how it comes. I would say Samsung does have that tend to over sharpen their images, so do keep that in mind. But it has that for quality purposes. And also Samsung tends to make their images more cold. And you'll see, I'm gonna make a iPhone 17 Pro Max video and you'll see how they take different types of photos. But as you can see, when there's something in the background that is white, it will be very white. So I don't know if you don't like those colder tones. But that's the camera. When it comes to speed, this phone is blazing fast. It has the newest Snapdragon chip, and I don't think it's worth an upgrade even if you're coming from a Galaxy S22 Ultra. This phone is technically primaried by my mom, and she had to upgrade from the S22 due to the screen breaking. But she said she would have kept this phone if she kept that phone if she could have, because this phone is almost the same, and it's a 3-year difference between them. It just goes to show how little these screens are changing over time, as well as their processors. But the biggest benefit she had was the battery lasts a little longer, and the screen is very nice. She doesn't like those old curved edges. She kind of prefers the flat displays, because that's why her last one broke, is because of the curved edges. So if you hold it to the side, you're not seeing any screen. Whereas on the old Galaxy Note, if you hold it to the side, that screen goes all the way back here. So it's a pretty big difference. One thing to note is, one big downside about these Samsung phones is that they don't have a proper Face ID. So the screen unlock, in my opinion, is poor. Their ultrasonic fingerprint sensor can be hit or miss too. So when it comes to unlocking this phone, the methods they use are not that good. And that is something they probably should work on, but I don't think they're going to address it in the S26. The phone also is titanium. There's like not one scuff or scratch on it, but though it's been in a case, but it has fared pretty well, because there is talks about how the new iPhone 17 even scratches with a case on it. So I appreciate that. And yeah, that's like most of the things you should know about this phone. I don't think you should upgrade from this phone if you have the S22 Ultra or above, because it just is such a similar phone. Though, if you are in the mood to get a phone that costs a little cheaper and you don't care for the stylus, then maybe you should get a Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus. It's almost the same phone, just without the stylus. Or just get the regular S25. My sister has it and she does like it, though she says she wishes she has the bigger size. So depending on your use factors, this will play a lot into it. And it may be your pocket size. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a good day, and peace out.